Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Friday. It's November 14th and it's 4:26 in the AM. And I'm going to do my last recording for today because I want to stay current and just relax for my weekend. Now I'm working on t-shirts for my own personal collection this weekend. So, like I said, I just want to relax and do what I do. Anywho, I want to talk briefly about my, I want to say, video voyeurism. Yeah, I talked about it in the first video for this morning. I'll talk about it a little bit more. I like having this current algorithm that I got going where, I see single folks, both straight and from the alphabet community, talking about what they find attractive or who they will never date. So yesterday, the sister was on, and she talked about who she will never date again. And I was like, ooh wee. And she named, it was basically studs I'll never date again. And she had a list. And, some I could get with, but some I couldn't. Not that it's for me to get with anyway, but again, I was doing my voyeuristic best, my ear hustling best, because I was listening. Sis, the list was pretty long. Now it's like, if your list of what you're not gonna damn do is pretty long, that leaves your list of what you're going to do very short. And my thing is, a lot of folks have lists that are unrealistic because they're not self-aware. Now, some days I'll override my gut and, do what I do. And I can say for the most part, every time I do that, it's a conscious decision and it implodes. Bottom line, there's consequences for poor choices. And it's not always them. I want to say if you're surveying, I want to say just a general number, 100 people. And I want to say 75% of them say that you're an ass. Chances are you're most likely an ass. So that part, that's what I mean by lacking self-awareness. Or we lie to ourselves about what we're bringing to the table. Or we have that magical thing that, remember that time and you fill in the blank? I personally can't stand that one. Or, people list what they've done for you. That's another thing. I've seen more couples just really embarrass themselves in arguing and fussing and fighting out in public. And then, claiming or reclaiming what they've given this person. See, when you do that, or when I see that, let me be more succinct. When I see and hear that, that tells me there was no love there to begin with. Those were things for leverage. Somebody dropped me like a hot rock and then offered to give my stuff back or the gifts back. It's like, don't do that. It's bad enough that, we're at this place without conversation. But don't add further insult by saying, if you want your stuff back, you can have it. You had no attachment to me. You had no attachment to the things. Oh, you were loving. You let me know that your love is transactional in no ill situations. So to that sister who has the list of who she's not going to date ever again, no more in this life, as I like to say, baby, stop advertising what you're not going to do, because that gives people information on how to lie to you to further exasperate you. You feel me? When people do you dirty, chances are you open the door for it. Just like, for most crimes, at times the perpetrator is most likely somebody that you know. And then, people get on the news and I didn't know that you weren't paying attention. You weren't listening. You weren't looking, and you found yourself in a situation. And please believe I'm talking from personal experience. Because, again, I made a conscious decision to override the red flags that I saw, or that I set for myself, I had for myself. And, now I'm in an ugly place looking to project. I think this last go round that I had with being desirous of committing, put me in a place where I look at me. What is the purpose for the commitment? Where did the desire stem from? I have to look at those things, because being lonely is not a reason to connect with somebody. Learning to sit with self and being okay with it, for me, is a better reason these days. There's a serious difference between being alone and being lonely. And loneliness, like I said, leads to some poor decisions. This week I talked about somebody approaching me and, let me run this by you. You've already made up your mind. You just want a co-signer. And then when it goes bluey, because it will, you get to say, either you warned me, so you can do that, it's called flagellation, beating yourself up in order to feel better, or you start projecting. You didn't say anything. Baby, if you like it, I love it. But I'm not one to say I love that for you when it's not good for you. And people know that. Then they want to argue with me up and down, and I don't have time for silly arguments. I'll leave you standing where I saw you. My life is at a place now where, I know I'm not going to live forever. My life is at a place now where time is precious. And I know it's not like a phone plan where I get rollover minutes, or I think I get rollover minutes. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time fussing and fighting with somebody who's made up their mind to do something silly. And don't ask me, can I run something by you, when you know good and damn well you're going to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and then cry about it later. I'm good. See you when I see you.